Hello and welcome to the C-Suite Hotseat. My name is Saf Malik, Senior Reporter at Capacity Media. This is the monthly podcast from the Capacity editorial team featuring exclusive interviews with C-Suite executives from across the wider telecoms, tech and ICT landscape. Join us as we talk all things technology, infrastructure, finance and strategy. I'm joined today by Giuliano di Vitantonio, CEO of AtlasEdge. Giuliano, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Saf, thanks for having me.
Straight into the questions. AtlasEdge has expanded rapidly to establish operations across 12 countries in just 2 years. How did the company accomplish this?
Well, yes, we've expanded very rapidly, mainly through acquisition. The reason for that is because time to market is so critical to our customers that it was important to establish a strong footprint across Europe. Our plan is to continue to grow mainly organically once that we have what we call the dots on the map. But we started with a number of acquisitions. We acquired some assets from Colt. They gave us a presence in a dozen markets. And then we acquired a company in Germany called Data Center One, probably the leader in edge data centers in Germany. So that has given us a very strong presence across Europe, and in particular in the country that I consider at the forefront of the edge revolution, because Germany, with its very distributed GDP and population, is probably the first country in Europe where we're going to see a very distributed data center capacity. So mainly grown through acquisition, but with the view of doing more and more organic growth in the future.
And there's sure to have been challenges in that time. What would you say were the main challenges that you faced?
Well, going 1,000 miles an hour, we've grown. Just 2 years. In 2 years since the company was created, we've grown tremendously. So we've added a lot of people. We are now a company with a presence across 12 countries, 19 metros, headquartered in London, but also presence in Amsterdam, in Barcelona, and in Germany. So clearly, bringing together such a large organization in a short period of time has had its challenges, but it's all done with a very, very customer-centric perspective. So that's been the fun part of it, that everybody is coalesced around the mission that we have to establish a leading edge data center platform in Europe with a very, very customer-centric approach to our strategy and the way we engage in the marketplace.
And what is your kind of overarching vision for AtlasEdge and the business? And what are kind of your growth plans for the future?
Well, our strategy is very clear. We believe there is a tier of markets in Europe that is underserved by data center providers. We've seen over the past couple of decades, most of the capacity in Europe concentrated in the big four markets, the flap market, Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam, and Paris. Then there's been also a couple of tier 2 markets that have emerged, like Dublin, Madrid to a lesser extent. But generally speaking, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 markets in Europe are still underserved. And when you look at what the customers are doing, the customers are rolling out capacity to more and more locations to be closer and closer to the end users, and that requires capacity in instead of 4, 6, but instead of 20 markets in Europe, probably in the future 50 or even 100 markets across Europe. So we are focusing on basically taking data center capacity to those locations, and the feedback we receive from customers is extremely positive. They see the need for that, and they are engaging very closely with us to have a joint roadmap in terms of what are the next locations we're going to go to. So we are serving that underserved portion of the market that is below tier 1 and the top part of tier 2.
And here on the C-Suite Hot Seat, we kind of like to break up the interview by asking a couple of hot seat questions. And the first one would be, what is your favorite and least favorite part about your job?
Well, the most favorite part is bringing together the team, right? Building a team and seeing the talent that we've been able to form, to aggregate and bring together over just 2 years is remarkable. We have a very strong leadership team and a lot of depth across the organization. We bring together talent from different parts of the industry, customers, competitors. So clearly bringing together the team and doing it through the lens of what our customers need, that's been the best part of the job. The least favorite part is sometimes you have to make tough calls when you, even about people, right? Sometimes you go very fast and you need to make sure that the people on board are those who are there for the long term. And we lost a couple of people along the way, and And that's been difficult, but we are marching full speed ahead.
Secondly, do you have any skills or interests outside of your work as a CEO?
Well, I'm not going to comment about my skills. I'm going to maybe talk more about the interest. Certainly, I enjoy I love London. I'm based in London. I love everything that London has to offer, the social scene, the entertainment, culture. So let me say them. I try to strike a good balance between professional life and private life. So the work-life balance is in a good place. I'm working long hours, but I make enough time to pursue these other interests outside. So I keep myself busy outside work as well.
And finally, if you were doing any other job apart from what you're doing now, what would you be doing?
Well, listen, when I was a kid, I thought I would be a tennis star, right? I would be one day I would win Wimbledon. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I realized fairly early on that it wouldn't happen. So that would have been the dream job. I've remained a big tennis fan. Everybody knows me, knows how crazy I am about Roger Federer. Unfortunately, he's retired, so I watch tennis a bit less now. But hey, my dream as a kid was to win Wimbledon.
Giuliano, there's still time.
The super senior category.
And yeah, that kind of ends the hot seat questions, but thanks so much for answering them. On to my next question. What would you say are some of the macro themes and issues that you are contending with as CEO of AtlasEdge?
We are going through a truly unprecedented phase for our industry because both the positive and the negatives have amplified, right? On the positive, just this wall of demand that is happening. And the latest trend that is going to fuel demand is AI. We for the past decade we've served the surging demand in cloud, and we thought that was big enough, and now AI makes the demand even bigger. So from a demand standpoint, this is an industry that is really thriving. But with that come a lot of challenges in terms of being able to find the capacity, find the land, find the power. To serve that demand. So with the good comes the bad in terms of all the challenges. And of course, it's also happening at a time of economic uncertainty. We've had a surge in the energy prices over the last couple of years that we've never seen in the last 20 years. And that has created problems because, of course, energy is a key component of what data centers not only run on, but is part of the offer to our customers. So when the price of energy goes up and spikes so quickly, that creates problems. Of course, we also have a responsibility as an industry to really create a more sustainable offer. So sustainability is at the core of everything we do. But that's also really at the forefront of everything that, all the strategy and the thought process of how we engage with our customers and how we put together our products. So there's a lot of things happening in the industry right now. Overall is a lot of tailwinds, but also inflation and other things, energy prices, all the things that are making serving that demand a little bit more challenging than it was in the past.
I'm glad you mentioned AI there, actually, because I can't seem to go 1 week without writing a couple of stories about AI. And just off the back of that answer, do you kind of feel pressure as a business to leverage AI in a way that's kind of meaningful to your customer base?
Well, there's two aspects to it. So leveraging AI as a tool to improve the way we do business, absolutely. That's what every CEO, every leader in any organization should do. There are things that are new applications. There are ways to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of the organization. So we're certainly applying AI to that effect. But also for us, it's just a big source of demand. Something that a year ago nobody had seen coming to this magnitude. So for us, AI is not just a tool to improve the way we do business. It's truly what is going to fuel the demand and is going to fuel the growth of the business. And that's the primary lens through which we look at AI.
And finally, from me, Giuliano, and thanks so much for your time today. What can we expect from the business moving forward?
We just want to continue to expand. We see that demand in front of us. We just need to continue to execute. We need to continue to build new capacity. We need to continue to sell that capacity. Data centers at the core is a pretty simple business. You build and you sell, right? And but there's a lot of complexity behind that, a lot of complexity. And so we need to continue to execute and deliver to our customers what they expect from us, which is more and more capacity in more and more locations.
Giuliano, thanks so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks again for having me. It's been fun. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned to www.capacitymedia.com for the latest news, features, and appointments. And you can follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter at Capacity Media. Join us next time on the C-Suite Hot Seat.